Hello folks, this is Jim. I live in Texas, and right now I'm in Aransas County, Texas, passing through the little village of Holiday Beach on the Gulf Coast. I'm headed to my second home or shack or investment or sinkhole, however you want to look at it. But I do have a home here in the town of Rockport, which is just ahead. I'm riding down from Austin today to meet up with a contractor. We're going to have the exterior painted and some serious remodeling done. And so I thought I'd ride down here in the morning. It's about 11:25 in the morning now. So I thought I'd ride down in the morning, meet the fella, get him started, then go back to Austin this afternoon. It's about 210 miles from this house to my house in Austin. So this 420-mile trip is kind of a warm-up for the Heart of Texas rally at the end of April. This is the Texas coastal plain. It's pretty flat. The roads are pretty straight. On my left is the Gulf of Mexico, or at least Aransas Bay, which opens into the Gulf of Mexico. We'll see it here in a second when we go over this big bridge. And on the other side of the bridge is the little small city of Rockport, which is mainly a fishing city and also has a lot of oil field offshore support facilities and businesses there too. On our right, we'll see the original bridge. This is Cofano Bay on our right and Aransas Bay on the left. See, there's some drilling right out there, isn't there? And that's Cofano Bay there. My house has pretty good access to Cofano Bay. You come under this bridge, or you get to Aransas Bay, and then out that way is Aransas Pass, Fort Aransas, and Corpus. Going the other way, you would be headed up towards Galveston. They're having a big fishing season this year. This is a big fishing town. So supposedly the locals have told me this last couple of months I've been here. So what all these boats are doing is they switched from shrimp to crab. Excuse me, not crab, oysters. Because there's been a moratorium on oysters for several years, and the oyster beds have come back big time, and now they're harvesting these oysters as fast as they can. And that's what those guys in those fishing boats there are doing, no doubt. It's often pretty windy here. They've talked about having the America's Cup in Corpus Christi, which is another 35 miles ahead of us. It certainly can get quite windy here. It's not bad today. Here we are. This is Texas Highway 35, not to be confused with Interstate 35, which isn't anywhere near here. And then up over the top. There's Rockport, and actually the town. That part's the town of Fulton, which is immediately adjacent to Rockport. On our left, out in Aransas Bay on the left, Cofano Bay on the right. That was the original highway bridge. They've cut it off in the middle so more boats can get through there, and put that big hump in this bridge, and that's now a fishing pier. They just rebuilt these boat ramps here. This is a park facility, I guess, that runs this. They've got a real nice boat ramp right there, brand new, really nice. And you can drive your car out on this little sandbar. Coming up on the right is the Aransas County Airport. A very nice facility, former World War II ox field, the big triangle runway pattern. This is a very active petroleum helicopter base here. They're all gone now. I've seen when they're not flying, they have about a dozen of those big helicopters. On the main part of the airport across the way, there's an operator who has a bunch of these big Sikorsky 92s, which are you know, really big helicopters. Very similar to what the president rides in Marine One. And there's the airport there on the right. Big airport, good sized airport. It's got instrument approaches. The Navy uses it a lot. There's a large Navy training base in Corpus. They train multi-engine pilots there. They have a lot of King Airs, twin-engine turboprop trainers, and they're in here all the time. I'm surprised there's not one right out there right now. I'll probably see one before I get home. This place is very low. We're only a couple of feet above sea level here. And there's one. Speak of the devil. No, that's a King Air, but I think it's a civilian one down there. Don't believe that's the Navy, but it might be. Thought they put more orange on their airplanes. When I was a little kid, I lived in Corpus, and from I don't know, kindergarten up through about the 3rd grade. And at that time, the Navy base had blimps. And I can remember as a kindergarten kid, every time a blimp would come over, we'd stop whatever we were doing and run out into the playground and point at the blimp and go, "Wow, blimp!" Because they are pretty cool. We're kind of a redneckish community. It's kind of almost a third world, because if you're not on the water, the houses tend to be inexpensive and appeal to a lot of low-income people who don't, have enough money to make them real fancy. Not that they're slums or anything, they're not, but they're modest, a lot of modest houses. And the closer you get to the water, the more the houses go up in price until you get to, the big waterfront. This is on the right, is Copano Bay over there, and there's over here, some of the more modest housing, some of it's modular trailers. I believe this area is unincorporated. On the right, there's the mansions, because they have the big water access there, so they put a lot of money into those houses. My house is not a mansion, but it does have good water access. Now we're coming into the official city of Rockport. Look, there's a really nice house. I like that house a lot. Kind of a Cape Cod looking house. And just this flat coastal plain goes all the way down to Brownsville and all the way up to Galveston. It's like this. Doesn't have much of a winter here. It's very cool and comfortable in the winter. July and August are pretty brutal. Not so much for the temperature, because you always got a nice breeze, but more because of the bugs. The mosquitoes here will eat you alive in July and August, because we get thunderstorms and all. Like you see on the right here, these it's all flat. The water just pools up, and the mosquitoes get in there and they start a big party and have an orgy in there. Before you know it, you got a million baby mosquitoes. They do what they can to fight them, but you can get a lot of bug bites. There's another nice big house. Some condos around the corner here. There's some condos. I don't know if they have water access. There's the bays right there. I don't know if they have a ramp or not. Having a boat ramp makes a huge difference in terms of the utility of the houses in this part of town, because there's not many public boat ramps around here. I don't have a boat ramp, although I do have a dock, but my property manager lets me use hers. Of course, I sold my boat, so it doesn't matter much anymore, but my guests like to have that. We have on the left, you can see a little water there. That's called the harbor, and that's fairly deep by coastal plain standards, and it does lead out into Copano Bay. And even on my harbor side, when I look off my pier at night, it's like SeaWorld. You have so many fish. There's lots of fish in this bay, so people who like to fish like to stay around here. Howdy, folks. And this is ugly brown house is mine, and hopefully it'll be a pretty yellow house in a couple of weeks. That's why I'm down here, to make that happen. So this is Jim. Welcome to my little getaway in Rockport, Texas. Maybe we can all get together here someday. If anybody's interested in that, say so.